What a bonkers, sick, twisted little movie, guys. My name's Nova, this is Film Express, and I'm so excited to be here talking to you today about the new Yorgos Lanthimos movie, Kinds of Kindness. I absolutely loved Kinds of Kindness, guys. Emma Stone and Yorgos Lanthimos are an absolute match made in heaven. She gets his scripts, she gets his characters, she gets the tone that he wants to go for. Now, this is the third time they've worked together, and we're about to get, I think, 3 or 4 more movies with them working together. They are the new, like, Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese in my eyes. Like, this is the perfect match. Every single one of their films so far has been an absolute masterpiece to me. Poor Things is one of my favorite films of all time. And now Kinds of Kindness is exactly the type of brand of cinema that you would expect from a Greek weirdo like Yorgos, and he delivers exactly on that. Kinds of Kindness is a film about the dynamics of power and control within relationships, and it creates a world where it has its own rules and logic to create in-depth thematic angles where it can compare and contrast ideas and different variations of the meaning of free will. That's kind of my hypothesis and my overall thesis on what Kinds of Kindness is about. It's an anthology film, and it uses 3 stories to kind of get these points across. In all honesty, I will say this: Kinds of Kindness is not for the faint of heart. It's not a pleasant film. It's a very mean-spirited movie, and that's kind of why I love it so much. I love films that are so cynical and twisted, you know, in a way. And I don't know what that says about me, but I'll talk to my therapist about it, I promise. You know what? This is a film where no character is safe. No character is safe from manipulation. They're not safe from their own kind of desires and their own twisted fantasies. It really kind of begs to question how far you can push the people in your life with whom you have control or who have control over you. It really begs to question how much free will are we operating under, really? And I think that's kind of the ultimate meaning about the film. The film contrasts and compares control and power to kindness and love in a very, very interesting way, because in Yorgos's twisted little mind, those things are essentially the same. We first have a corporate story. It's like a microcosm allegory that explores kind of the employer versus employee relationship. It kind of touches upon how corporations will use its employees to do dirty things for them, and as soon as an employee will stand up for himself or push back on the authority, I should say, the corporation is quick to discard them, treat them as a statistic. They're not family anymore. And I think a lot of people can kind of relate to that idea if they've ever worked in an office type of setting. There's another segment that talks about kind of a twisted relationship and different versions of love languages and what that can mean. Really kind of focuses on the expectations within relationships, how you can create an idealistic version of your partner for yourself, and if your partner doesn't meet this fantasy version that you've created, you'll start to kind of resent them, hate them, want out of the relationship. And Yorgos really creates a very disturbing scenario where this occurs. And it really shows us how love and relationships can fall apart when you try to control someone based on your expectations of them. And obviously, while doing that, it touches upon like the endless cycles of abuse, delusions in relationships in regards to power and power dynamics. And I think it's so fascinating because there's literally so much to chew on. It never ends. The last segment is the most unique to me. It was also my favorite, but I think every single person in every review I've seen, every person has a different favorite anthology segment. For me, it was definitely the third one because it was the most unique in terms of its theme. It talks about how purity can be seen as a means to segregate and discriminate people based on how pure they are and their values. And it also creates this interesting parallel between like cults and religion that I've been super fascinated with recently. I've been really looking into cults and crimes that cults have been involved in over the past 30-50 years, you know, kind of in my true crime bag lately. And just the fact that they touched upon it in this segment really kind of hit home for me. It touched upon my interest, you know, so that's part of the reason why I loved it so much. Through these different lenses, Yorgos is kind of creating this idea where we all have different ways of controlling people. We all have different ways of viewing love and viewing relationships, and none of them are healthy, you know, and I find that just to be such a cynical but also very true to life theme to explore in a movie. And you know, I praised Emma Stone for her performance, but I should say every single cast member put in A tier, S tier performances. You know, Jesse Plemons is always reliable. He did fantastic work. Willem Dafoe is a commanding presence on the screen. He was probably my favorite part of the first segment, but in every single segment he had a moment where he made me laugh out loud, and I think that should be mentioned. Margaret, Qualley, and Chau as well, they show up and give fantastic performances. Like, every single person kind of understood the assignment, and I love that about Kinds of Kindness. It really needs to be applauded for its ensemble cast. If I have to criticize the film for anything, it's the runtime. You know, it is almost 3 hours. It is very long. The second story was a bit long, was a bit longer than it needed to be, in my opinion. I think they could have really trimmed that second story a bit, because the third act, to me, again, it was my favorite, and I feel like I just wanted us to get there a little bit sooner. But on the other side, you know, I say that the second act kind of dragged on a bit and it was a bit slower, but it was also the funniest, and I found myself laughing the hardest within the second act. And there's a sequence, a black and white sequence with a bunch of dogs, that is one of the most shockingly disturbing and hilarious things I've seen in a while. I think that there's so much to chew on here, and there's so much on offer for film viewers that are kind of just jaded with the regular Hollywood movies. Only Yorgos is capable of. So to me, he's proving to be, you know, top 5 directors in the game right now. He's always working with the best screenwriters, and to me, that's a beautiful thing. He's also proving to have one of the best work ethics in the game. He just released Poor Things for the Oscars. It was 6 months ago. He just released Kinds of Kindness now. He has 3 more movies on the way. This guy just doesn't stop working. I don't understand it. I absolutely admire it. He's an inspiration. But also the fact that it's pure artistry at a very consistently high level, and no one is doing it like him. Like, you know, a Yorgos movie when you see it. He's created his own brand, and for that, I absolutely love him. Right now, I would rate this movie a 4 stars. It's absolutely worth watching. There are people who are going to love it a lot more than me, and there are many people who are going to find it very hard to watch. But for me, it gives me that type of brand of movies that I search so hard and long for. It's unique, it's twisted, it's jaw-dropping, it's fascinating, and it's full of meaning. Definitely go watch Kinds of Kindness, guys. I think it's fascinating. I hope you really enjoyed my review. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on it. Please like, please subscribe, please drop some comments down below. Let's talk about this movie, because there's literally so much to talk about. I have a few more reviews coming for you. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to be more positive in general, just to talk about the films that I loved, because I could crap on movies all day, but I'm not sure many people want to hear that. Alternatively, though, if you do love hearing bad reviews and you want me to just absolutely demolish the new movies that are coming out, just let me know, and I will absolutely drop some. I just need to know that people are into it, okay? So with that being said, guys, go see Kinds of Kindness. From the cinematography to the music to the acting to the writing to the directing, it is a stellar, solid film. Absolutely worth watching and supporting. Guys, thank you so much. My name is Nova. This is Film Express. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.